Just about every Friday night, these two friends reconnect here at Canlan Sports Complex in Winnipeg. For Chris Kazmar, who plays soccer here every Friday, catching up with Canlan staffer Donald Swanson is just as important as playing soccer.
I'll never forget. I'll never forget. And like I said,
it's hard not to forget the night Kazmar almost lost his life, and the night Donald Swanson saved it.
And it was a normal day for me. I went to work, played with my kids for a bit, came to the soccer game, and we were playing the late game. Came out, started playing, and my heart went into VFib. And after that, I don't really remember too much.
Donald Swanson certainly remembers that night. He was driving a Zamboni when one of his coworkers rushed to find him. At the time, Swanson recently completed retraining in CPR and how to use an automated external defibrillator, or AED. And he was about to put his training to the test.
I opened the door, or pulled the bag, grabbed it, picked it up, grabbed it, ran out to the back of the rink, or the soccer pitch, where Chris was, and started to do my thing. And there was two people doing CPR on him when I got there, and another person was on the phone with 911, and so I got down on my hands and knees, cut his shirt, because you're supposed to do that, got a towel to get the sweat off, put both of the pads on. Machine told me it was clear to go, and it kept saying check for rhythm or pulse. It was fine, and I looked up and the paramedics were here.
Thank God that there was a defibrillator here on site. Someone was trained, somebody knew how to use it. They got my heart going again, they got me stabilized, and the paramedics took over, took me to the hospital, and a couple of days later I woke up and said, "What happened?"
Analyzing heart rhythm. Shock advised. Stay clear of patient.
AEDs are very easy to use, and with basic orientation, you too can be prepared to potentially save a life with an AED. Did you know that starting compressions, also known as CPR, and using an AED within a couple of minutes provides the most realistic chance of having someone survive a cardiac arrest? What if I were to tell you it increases the chance of survival from 4%, compressions only, to 75% compressions and AED? The following are some important CPR and AED fast facts to explain why it's so important to get involved and do something. A heart attack occurs when blood flow to the heart is blocked. Sudden cardiac arrest, or SCA, is when the heart malfunctions and suddenly stops beating unexpectedly. In other words, a heart attack is a circulation problem, and sudden cardiac arrest is an electrical problem. Up to 40,000 cardiac arrests occur each year in Canada. That's one cardiac arrest every 12 minutes. For every 1 minute that passes when someone is in cardiac arrest, the survival rate decreases by 7 to 10%. The average time for an ambulance to arrive on scene in most cities is more than 8 minutes. As breathing stops, following cardiac arrest, permanent brain damage can occur in as little as 4 to 6 minutes. A whopping 85% of all cardiac arrests occur in homes and public. And unfortunately, the majority of people who witness cardiac arrest do not perform CPR. Regardless of the make or model of AED you are using, they all have the following elements in common. They all have power or on buttons to activate them. They all talk to you and will guide you in what to do. They all have universal electrode pad placements. Most importantly, you cannot, I repeat, cannot shock someone by accident. An AED will only advise to deliver shock if the heart is in a rhythm that requires defibrillation.
People should get training and learn how to use them, because then if they're put in that situation, they'll at least have an understanding on what to do.
Shock advised.
Okay, all clear?
As mentioned before, combined with CPR, the use of an AED may increase the likelihood of survival by 75% or more. You cannot be sued for using an AED on a person who has gone into cardiac arrest. Bad CPR is better than no CPR. Push hard, push fast. That's what matters most. Many municipalities and governments have created Good Samaritan Acts to encourage people to use an AED without fear of legal consequences. Check with your municipal and provincial governments to learn more about Good Samaritan Protection Acts where you live.
So don't be afraid to use it. The alternative is someone could die.
No matter where you place your AED, it should be accessible by anyone from anywhere in your facility within 3 minutes. Also known as the 3-minute rule, you substantially increase the chance of survival if you start compressions, call for emergency medical services, EMS 911, access an AED, and then use it on the person who has gone into sudden cardiac arrest. Taking these first few initial steps, within 3 minutes, can increase the chance of survival by 75%. And don't forget, AEDs are easy to use. Just ask Donald.
No, it wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be because the AED is really user-friendly to use. It talks you through all the steps, tells you what to do.
However, Swanson also had training at the time of Kazmar's heart being stunned into a normal rhythm with an AED. Because of the AED's ease of use, Swanson knows the outcome wouldn't have changed, but having CPR and AED training allowed him to keep calm, assess the emergency situation with first aid knowledge, and delegate bystanders to help out.
I felt pretty proud of myself.
But no one is prouder than the man Swanson saved.
Got it going, got my heart going again, and I'm here to tell the story.